Hi friends. We all know the importance of digestive system in our body. It is this digestive system which digests the food and gives us energy. Apart from the digestive system, even the cardiovascular system has a major role to play. We all know that heart diseases are fatal and can affect our life in a great way. Also, apart from these two systems, the respiratory system also plays a very major role, because in the absence of respiratory system, we wouldn't be able to inspire oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. So friends, we are well aware of all these systems. But what about the excretory system? Let's talk about the excretory system now. We all know that there are many cell reactions taking place within our body. And as a byproduct of these reactions, there are many toxic products being released. So what would happen if these toxic products accumulate within our body? Would they harm our body? Or would they be of some significance to our body? If you think for a while, you will get to know, friends, that these toxic products which are within our body are very harmful, and if allowed to accumulate for a long period of time, they can be very toxic. Hence, to eliminate these toxic products, there is a system known as excretory system. In this video, we shall talk about the excretory system and see what are the different modes of excretion, and we'll talk about the basic method of excretion. Well friends, before we talk about the different modes of excretion, let us first quickly see how are these waste products produced in our body. The different type of waste products, like for example, ammonia, urea or uric acid, these waste products are nitrogenous in nature. And how are they produced? These waste products are produced as a result of protein metabolism. Small amount of nitrogenous waste is also produced as a result of nucleic acid metabolism. Now, among the waste products, ammonia is the most toxic, whereas uric acid is the least toxic. Well friends, let's see why most of the waste products are nitrogenous in nature. Most of the carbohydrate and fat which we consume in a daily diet either get utilized to give energy or they are stored by our body. But what about proteins? Yes, we all know that proteins are made up of amino acids. So the protein which we eat in our daily diet cannot be stored by our body, and hence, since these cannot be stored by our body, so these protein or amino acids, they are deaminated. That is, the amino group from them is removed, and the remaining of the organic acid is stored by our body. Now this part which has been removed cannot be stored by our body for a long period of time, as it is toxic and can cause major damage to our body. So this is the reason why most of the waste substances are nitrogenous in nature and they need to be removed from our body. Based on the type of excretory product, there are mainly 5 modes of excretion, and these are ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism, aminotelism, and guanotelism. We'll talk about each one of them in detail, one by one. First, we will talk about ammonotelism. The process of excreting ammonia is known as ammonotelism. Well friends, keep one thing in mind, that here ammonia is excreted. And how does it excrete? Well, to understand this, first of all, you should know that ammonia is highly soluble in water. And since it is highly soluble in water, so ammonia can diffuse directly out through the body surface or through the gill surface. Now, this gives us a hint that yes, this type of excretion, that is ammonotelism, is mostly found in aquatic animals. One thing you should also keep in mind, that ammonia is highly toxic, in fact the most toxic among all the excretory products, and hence ammonia cannot be kept inside the body for a long period of time, and so should be eliminated out as fast as possible. So friends, let's quickly see some of the examples which show this type of excretion, that is ammonotelism. Some of the examples are like aquatic invertebrates, like for example the sponge, the hydra, amoeba, tadpole larva of frog, as well as the bony fishes, etc. So friends, we are now clear about ammonotelism, and now let's talk about the another mode of excretion, that is ureotelism. In this type of excretory mode, the main excretory product is urea. So let's compare the two excretory products, that is ammonia and urea. Ammonia, as we said, is more water soluble, in fact highly water soluble, but urea is less water soluble. Now what advantage does this give? We all know that terrestrial animals, that is land animals, do not have much water, as these are residing on land. So this mode of excretion is extremely important, as we cannot waste much water for excretion, and that is why urea is of very much significance in land animals. The next type of difference between ammonia as well as urea is that ammonia is highly toxic, whereas urea is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia, which means that urea can be there in the body for some period of time. That is, it need not be eliminated the moment it is produced, because it is less toxic. So friends, I hope this division is clear between the two of them, that is ammonia and urea. Well friends, it's now clear that the basic excretory product is ammonia, and in most of the land animals, this ammonia gets converted into urea to suit the needs of the animal. So let's now see how this ammonia is converted into urea. In most of the land animals, the ammonia gets converted into urea in liver. In us, this happens through a cycle which is known as Urea Cycle, and we'll talk about this Urea Cycle in detail in a separate video altogether. Here, all you need to remember is the ammonia gets converted into urea in liver, and this urea gets released into the blood, and from the blood it is taken to our kidneys, and from here it gets eliminated out of the body. So I hope things are crystal clear till now. Let us now see some of the examples of this type of excretory mode, that is ureotelism. Mammals, many terrestrial amphibians as well as marine fishes show this type of ureotelism excretion, that is, they excrete in the form of urea. So friends, we have understood two types of excretion, one ammonotelism and the other ureotelism. Let's now talk about the third type of excretion, that is uricotelism. Now, as the word says uricotelism, the main type of excretory product here is uric acid. Let me tell you some very important things about this uric acid. First of all, uric acid is highly insoluble in water, almost insoluble in water, and it precipitates as uric acid crystals, which means ammonia gets precipitated as uric acid crystals, and this uric acid is highly insoluble in water. So what advantage does it give to the animal? Friends, keep this in mind that uricotelism is found in those animals which are found in dry areas. So these animals need to conserve water, hence they cannot afford to lose water. And this is the reason why this type of excretion is seen in those animals found in dry regions. Also, one thing to be kept in mind, that uric acid is non-toxic, and hence it can be present in the body for long periods of time before it is eliminated out of the body. Friends, you are now sure about uricotelism, that is excretion by means of uric acid. Now let me tell you something very interesting. Have you ever noticed the bird droppings? These are like creamy white in color and they are like paste form. Do not take them lightly, because the bird droppings of seabirds are known as guano, and these are highly rich in uric acid. They are so highly rich in uric acid that commercially uric acid is extracted from these guano from uninhabited marine islands. Uricotelism is extremely important for land vertebrates laying shelled eggs. The embryo within these eggs excrete in the form of uric acid, and this uric acid can accumulate to a very high level inside the shell, because we know that uric acid is non-toxic and also insoluble. Had there been ammonia or urea produced by the embryo, these would have accumulated to a toxic level, and then these would have produced the damage. Having understood uricotalism in and out, let us see some of the examples which show this type of excretion. Reptiles, land snails, birds and insects are some of the examples which show this type of excretion. Well friends, we are done with three types of excretion, that is ammonotalism, ureotalism and uricotalism. Let's now talk about the other type of excretion, that is aminotalism. In this type of excretion, that is aminotalism, there will be excretion of amino acids. Now this type of excretion is seen in some of the mollusks as well as some of echinoderms, and here these animals excrete amino acids. This type of excretion is known as aminotalism. Let's now talk about another type of excretion, that is guanotalism. Spiders excrete guanine and the spiders are said to be guanotelic, and this type of excretion is known as guanotalism. Now friends, you'll ask me, what is guanine? Guanine is a purine base and is found in the nucleic acid. So guanine is a component of the nucleic acid, and this guanine is excreted by spiders, the mode of excretion being known as guanotalism. So friends, we are done and dusted with the main modes of excretion, that is ammonotalism, ureotalism, uricotalism, aminotalism as well as guanotalism. We appreciated that how different animals have adapted themselves to have different modes of excretion, some excreting in the form of ammonia, some excreting in the form of urea, some in the form of uric acid. This tells us that excretion is so important for an animal's body. Without excretion, it would be impossible for life to continue, because then the toxic products would accumulate to a very high level. So friends, on this note, let's conclude our session. But before we do that, let us summarize the important points. Excretion is the elimination of metabolic waste products from the animal body to regulate the composition of body fluid and tissues. Depending upon the type of excretory product, there are mainly 5 types of excretion, and these are ammonotalism, ureotalism, uricotalism, aminotalism, and guanotalism. The process of excreting ammonia is known as ammonotalism. Ammonia is highly toxic and is highly soluble in water, and hence requires large amount of water for its removal. The process of excreting urea is known as ureotalism. Urea is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia and is also less water soluble than ammonia. The process of excreting uric acid is known as uricotalism. Uric acid is non-toxic and is almost insoluble in water, and hence this leads to conservation of water. Animals which live in dry conditions have to conserve their body water for daily functions. Hence they excrete in the form of uric acid, so that conservation of water is to the maximum. Some mollusks as well as certain echinoderms excrete in the form of amino acids, and this mode of excretion is known as aminotalism, and these organisms are referred to as aminotelic animals. Spiders which excrete guanine are said to be guanotelic, and this mode of excretion is known as guanotalism. So friends, we are now sure about the different modes of excretion, and we are crystal clear about these concepts. So in the next video, we shall talk about something more important. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you.